Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to give you an inside view on what a recruiter sees when you apply to a job and maybe help you understand why you are getting ghosted from jobs. I have been the person who applies to jobs and think the audacity of that recruiter to not even have the decency to respond to my job application and tell me that they went a different way. But being on the flip side, having posted a few jobs on LinkedIn, I want to show you guys what I see on the recruiter end. If you're trying to get a job as a product manager or any other high demand job and you're not hearing back from recruiters, stick around because I talk about how I used entrepreneurship and side hustles to get me the work experience I needed so that recruiters would reach out to me on LinkedIn as opposed to applying to jobs. It's worked well for me. I've been contacted by recruiters from these companies without ever applying to their jobs, and I'm kind of on a mission to help others do the same. So subscribe, follow along if you want to learn a little bit more. But for now, let's jump into the video and show you guys what the recruiter sees. So here I have pulled up a LinkedIn dashboard for a job posting. And you can see that I posted 22 hours ago. It's an active job. It has 38 applicants. However, I have posted 5 jobs now and I have had this response on all of mine. I am not some prolific LinkedIn guru that posts amazing jobs. I think there's just a lot of people applying and it's so easy to apply to jobs these days that people just throw their hat in the ring just because. So that's kind of the reason for my end why I have a hard time replying to everybody who applies to a job, because with 38 applicants, you're given this option down here to sort people into different piles. Like you can say they're a good fit, maybe, or not a fit. If you click not a fit, it'll pop up with a message that says like a nice canned message of a rejection that supposedly sends 1 to 3 days later. So they're not just like being rejected the second they apply or within the hour or the same day. But it's a little bit nerve wracking for me because that message doesn't pop up all the time. And so I don't want to be kind of a jerk and like this person applied 21 hours ago and I'm already just saying, hey, you're not a fit. It just seems like I didn't take the time to really consider them, which moves me to my second thing is trying to find the needle in the haystack. Trying to find the right person is rough. A lot of these people are really good and I find myself clicking maybe on a lot of them, which doesn't help people hearing back because if I say not a fit, it will reject them. But the maybe pile, I have to go back later and send them an email, which is time consuming. Companies that have full-time recruiters, they're a lot better at this. They have someone doing this full time. I am a like bootstrapped entrepreneur. So me doing this is like one of 100 things I have on my to-do list. And it's really hard for me to go back and say no to, almost 40 people that didn't get the job. And a lot more when I've promoted a job and had it open for a longer time. So, but when you click on a profile, here's what a recruiter sees. They'll see a brief overview of your experience, the first 2, I think sometimes 3 I've seen on here, and you can see just like the years that they worked somewhere. And then education, and then down here is the resume. Something that you should be aware of is the resume as a PDF. It will appear as a preview, which I like because I don't want to have to download a resume and save it somewhere and delete it later. When you upload a resume as a Word doc, it actually doesn't give you this preview. So a big red flag on my end because I don't want to download your resume. I'd rather just see it in this preview, click on your profile, and then decide if I want to interview you or not. The other thing with Word docs is it won't hold the formatting. Like if you used an older version of Word and I have a newer one, or vice versa, or if I'm using Google Docs or Google Sheets, whatever it is, it might mess up the formatting and look really messy and hard to read. So don't ever upload a document, a Word document. Always upload a PDF of your resume for this reason and for the formatting. You'll see on here that I can read this pretty well. It's a little bit small, but there are some on here. Let me show you an example where they're really eye-catching and I kind of liked, but it made the font really hard to see. So if I come in here, you'll see this like cartoon. This is like a virtual reality software engineer, and it looks really cool. Like it's on par. I like the logos in here. It's eye-catching, but I really can't read this resume. And so I have to download it, which I did for this one because it's interesting enough, but I'd really prefer being able to read it in the preview. I don't know why LinkedIn doesn't have like a full page preview window that I can just zoom in on this, but they don't. So be aware of that when you're applying to jobs on LinkedIn. The other thing to be aware of is people message recruiters for jobs when they apply. When I first posted a job on LinkedIn, I got some messages of people saying, "Hey, I was really interested in your job. I think I'd be a great fit." And I thought, "Wow, like what initiative? I'm gonna give this person a little bit more consideration." But it quickly got old because so many people did it. Some people found like my email on the internet and were like emailing me. And while part of me was impressed with the initiative, and I thought maybe they do really care about this job, the other part of me was just kind of annoyed because there was so much of that happening that it got overwhelming. I will say, when someone sends me a short message saying, "I really am excited about this position. Take a look. If you didn't see it in my resume, like look at my portfolio for some of my past work. I'd love to chat." Something super simple. I'll click on that, and everyone's going to be different. But there is an option to respond to the recruiter or hiring manager, and LinkedIn creates like a canned response. It says something like, "I recently applied for insert position name. Based on my talents and abilities, I think I'd be a really good fit." That's what I see a lot of, and it just shows you did like no effort. Like maybe you did something more than someone that just applied, but it's just not good practice. It's very spammy. So if you're going to send a message, make it really custom, make it something that they can learn more, maybe a link they can click on, and then make it short. Those are the big things to know about. But I just want to maybe give you guys a little bit of sympathy for recruiters or hiring managers that are posting these jobs, just because like you get so overwhelmed, and if you're not doing this full time, it's a lot of work to go through everybody's LinkedIn profile and resume, and then interview and see who's a good fit. If I interview someone, I will send them a message for sure, because you've already kind of made it further in the process. But going through nearly 40 people for one job of like 5 that I have is really time consuming. And so I might get some hate from this, and it's okay if you guys are frustrated. I was there too, but just maybe a little bit of sympathy to know how much work it is and how hard it is to go through all these resumes and make someone not a good fit and send them a message. You just also don't really like hurting people's feelings, so sometimes it's just easier for people to not say anything at all. That's the summary. Again, if you guys are interested in landing a job in product management, or really any high demand job these days, but you just aren't hearing back from recruiters, follow along, subscribe, because I talk about how I used entrepreneurship as a side hustle to gain the relevant work experience I needed to get contacted by some pretty big companies, and have recruiters come to you. I kind of see it like fishing, right? You have like your LinkedIn profile is your fishing hook. And if you're not getting any bites, that's what should change, because applying to jobs these days is just kind of a thing of the past, it seems like. I've applied to a ton, and very rarely do I hear back from somebody. It's just so much more work to update a resume every single time you apply than it is to update your LinkedIn profile once and get contacted for the jobs that you want. So subscribe and follow along if you want to learn how to do that. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.